Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, for those who don't know, and today's video is all about editing. So we're going to be talking about my entire process from start to finish, from like the beginning stages of my editing all the way to when I post. And I'm also going to show you overlays and how I do text on the screen and different features that you all have been asking about. I got a bunch of comments saying, I'm really struggling with editing, or can you show me how to do this in particular? So I decided to take it step by step, very slow, very easy, and show you. So I'm just going to show you my process, how I edit. It's nothing fancy, nothing hard. I think my style honestly is just very simple. And I'm going to give you some tips as well to make the editing simpler, quicker, because the one thing I do not have is a lot of time. So it's currently 5 o'clock and my son is actually taking a nap. So if you hear a little snoring, it's because he's on the other side of me, knocked out. And so I'm trying to take advantage of this time because I've been wanting to edit all day. And of course, this is when he finally took a nap. So let's first kind of talk about everything I use or need. And I've kind of talked about this here and there on my channel, but I want it to be all here in this video so you don't have to go searching. So for editing, I use FinalCut Pro. For text and different overlays and things, I use Canva. For music, I use Epidemic Sound. I keep everything on an external hard drive. I get these off of Amazon. And of course, I use my DJI to record. So that is everything that I use for filming and editing and getting everything going. So of course you can use free versions of everything. If you have a Mac, you can use iMovie, or you can use CapCut. I also do use CapCut, but I use it mostly for my vertical videos. And then I do use it every now and then for long form, but you definitely don't have to pay for anything. These are things I pay for, but I've had FinalCut Pro for years. I got it for the student discount and I've just had it and used it ever since. All right, so grab your pen and paper. We're gonna start with a few tips. So these tips are going to help your process go faster, make it easier, because we all know editing is daunting. And while I love being creative, sometimes I just really don't have the time to sit down and do a whole lot to my edits. And so sometimes I just really need a quick and efficient method to really get the video done and get it posted. So the first tip I have for you is to have the best version of your video or of your recording. And what I mean by that is if you have a lot of pauses, a lot of ums, if you had to start over a lot, I completely scrap that video and then I start the recording process all over so I can get the best takes possible. And then when you're recording, if you kind of pause or mess up, I would go back a few words and say it again. Be aware of your body and your movements. A lot of the times, like I'm saying something and I look away because that's just how I talk, and I like look off into the distance and I'm thinking. And so I'll go back and say it again, looking at the camera sometimes, just so I can have the best shot possible. So if you mess up a lot or if you are struggling, I would actually record the whole video through, think about everything you said. If you don't like it, or like record a section, if you don't like it, scrap it, start over, so that when you get to the editing, you're not having to find the part to where you're like, oh, where was it when I said it perfect? You know what I mean? So tip number one is have the best version of your recording possible. Tip number two is kind of something I've already said, but use what's free/easy and then upgrade. Don't think you have to immediately jump into FinalCut Pro or something really hard. Start with something easy. Start with what you know. Most people are familiar with iMovie or familiar with CapCut. Use that. You don't have to get FinalCut Pro. Tip number three, and I'm actually going to show you this, is stay organized. I keep everything in folders, everything from my music and sound effects from Epidemic Sound. Also my videos, I keep all of that organized. And even inside of Final Cut, everything is organized. So if you keep everything organized, it makes everything run just a little bit smoother. Okay guys, so I wanted to quickly show you what I meant by keeping everything organized. So what I mean, this is my Lacy hard drive. It's an old one. As you can see, I have all of my months laid out. So each month I make content, I make a new tab in Final Cut. And if there's any questions you have about Final Cut, please let me know down below. I kind of don't want to get too into it because I know most people don't use Final Cut, but inside my Lacy hard drive, all of this is organized by month, and then even within the month, I'm going to click it and you're going to see that each project is layered out. Like I try to stay as organized as possible. So when I'm working on a new video, I make a new project, I name it, and I have all the clips for it down below. Now, another way I stay organized is actually in my Lacy hard drive. So in my Lacy hard drive, you see these different folders. Some of the stuff is old stuff that I've just put on there to save files that were saved on my computer to make space. But for the most part, I will have my unedited files. And if I'm doing like a vlog style, because this is for my vlog channel, if I'm doing vlog style, you'll notice that like I'll have folders, and like when I did my office makeover, I put all the files in that folder. And then when you drag and drop into a new project, it literally takes all the files instead of you going one by one, having to go to the camera and find them all. So this is really good when you're vlogging. If you like make a folder for that like weekly vlog and you upload files every day to it, and you might even go even deeper and be like, this is Monday, this was Tuesday, this was this event, and keep everything organized. It makes it so much easier when you get to the editing process. Something else you will notice is I have my Epidemic sound. Now there is a tab for music, but that was just old music I pulled off of my desktop that I wanted to save. But my actual Epidemic file that I use throughout 2024, I have my B-roll songs that I use most often. I have my sound effects that I use most often. I even made a folder for Vlogmas. And then the other thing I have is miscellaneous. That's going to be like my intros, my outros, my subscribe buttons, text on screen that I use often. All of that is there, and it's easy to find. I don't have to keep downloading it over and over and making the editing process daunting. Tip number 4 is to create a process that works for you and get in a space where you feel the most productive. Editing is daunting, like I said, and so sometimes if you don't feel like you're in a space where you could be the most productive, you won't be, and if you don't have an easy enough process. So watch my process, pull from it what you need, and create your own process to where everything flows quickly. So tip number 5 is to have a template that you can copy from. What I mean by this, and I said this in my Vlogmas video, and I also showed this, have a video template where it has your intro, your outro, your subscribe button, the overlays that you use in every single video. Have a template of that so that when you're ready to create a video, you literally just copy or duplicate it and start right with that information. Don't do any edits in this template. This template is simply to be used to copy and create your next video. All right, so before I hop on my computer, I do want to say, somebody did ask the question like, how long does it take me to edit, and when do I find the time to edit? And honestly, I just find any time that I can. Now, I have a video talking about like my work week and how I've set up my calendar, and I try to do most of my editing Monday through Friday. In the evenings when my son is asleep, because that's when I just have my free time. So in the evenings, I dedicate about 2 hours. Something I really want to do is get my editing process done in 2 hours or less. So I really just want to get faster with editing just because it'll help me get the videos out on time, on the schedule that I actually want. So I'm actually going to track the time that it takes me to do these edits, one video start to finish, so that you can see the whole entire editing process, and then we'll jump around. All right, so it's 5:20. I took 20 minutes because I had to switch information from my old external hard drive to my brand new one because I still had space, and so I actually haven't even used my new one yet, and I had already put the edits that I wanted for this video onto this one, and I think I've probably spent about 15 minutes already going through this one and starting my edits already. So now I'm going to actually go in and do what I call my first round of edits. So what I do is I go through the whole thing and I take out all the parts that I don't need. So it's like my rough draft, so to say. And while I do this, I like to keep my notebook with me. My son decided to tear up and crumple my paper, but I like to keep my notebook, and wherever I have my outline for this particular video, which this is my outline, if there's anything that I see that I'm like, ooh, I want to add something here, or ooh, this text would be good here, I actually make a note of it on here so that when I go to do that, I have everything written down that I want to put in the video, and I don't have to go back and watch it again to remember what I wanted to put. So yeah, I'm just going to go all the way through, watch it, chop it down, take off all the pauses, and do my first round of edits. It's currently 16 minutes and 15 seconds long. Like I said, I've already started at the beginning of this editing, so it's probably like maybe 18 minutes long at the most. So we'll start the time and see how long it takes. So casually keep diving into concrete, so bittersweet, huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? If you're in Final Cut Pro and you're trying to actually edit and you're trying to figure out like how to cut, how to paste. If you're on a Mac, if you do Control B, that's the blade, and it'll cut it wherever you, let me show you. Okay, so say I want to cut it here. If on my keyboard I hit Control B, it's gonna split it right there. And so then I can like move it, do whatever I need to do. If you, and that's like the basis of what I do as far as like editing. Like I will cut it and then I can trim it like this by just sliding on the little bar at the end of the video. If I just slide that, then it'll make it shorter, longer. That's kind of the basis of what I'm doing here in this editing process. So I'm just clipping out things I don't like and just going through the whole video. If you have these lists, it's going to be easier for you to pull video ideas. And then in the future, I want to do so. All right, so it is 6 o'clock. That took me about 37 minutes exactly because I finished right at 6. And then I said that I kind of spent already like 10 to 15 minutes. And honestly, watching that, I really probably didn't even spend that much time, but we'll say 15 minutes. So that's a total of 52 minutes so far. And sometimes that's like my longest part. The second part is kind of long too, but doing the initial first edits and writing everything I want to add going into the second round, that takes me a while. So yeah, 52 minutes for my next step or my next round. So what I do here is I go into Canva and I make my overlays, I make my text, anything that I want to add in. I'm also going to add in B-roll. I have my notes from watching it all the way through and I know everything that I want to create. Most of this I'm going to do in Canva. There is some B-roll I want to add that's literally dragging and dropping clips from another video that I've done. Once I go into Canva and create everything and download it, that's when I go back to my video and I start adding it in while I watch it through. So let's go into Canva and I'm going to do screen recording so you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, so I kind of already have this YouTube guide created and I've been editing in it for each video. And so I know I want to use this one, but I want to duplicate it and take out this because this is going to be in the 4th video. So that's one of them that I want. And this I already did. I was sitting doing, I had some free time, some time to like just work and on my phone, and so I already did this one. I actually used this in the previous video and I just added this one that says mode on here. So that's done. I had actually kind of already started doing this, and that's how I maximize my time when I'm editing. I was using Canva on my phone. I think I was like sitting at church waiting for church to start or something. All right, so here is where I actually stopped working on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start typing everything from my notes. And I'm gonna go back really quick because I wanna hear how exactly I said this because I wanna type it the exact same way because I heard it, but I don't think I wrote it exact. All right guys, it's 6:21. I'm not done with the second step, but I am done creating everything I want in Canva. So if you don't know, there's a couple of ways you can download in Canva. You can download as a video if you have animations, or you can just download it as a PNG, like a picture. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just only gonna download the pages that I want. But I hear little man is up, and so I probably won't be doing this much longer. But I've been working for about 15 minutes, and it didn't take me that long, but my computer was working a little bit slow. All right, so here I'm gonna start again from the very beginning and just start adding things in. So real quick, all I'm doing here is going in and watching and dragging the downloads from Canva on top of the clips that I already have. I do this because I want it to take up the whole screen. You can resize them by using the transform tool in Final Cut, but I didn't do any of that and I didn't have any green screens for this, but I will show you later. All right guys, so I've been working for like at max 20 minutes on this part. I'm going to actually take a break since the little man is up. I gotta get him some dinner going and then I'll catch back up with y'all. All right, so off camera I worked a little bit more. If you hear noises, because Cole is playing with his trucks right here. So I've done everything for this video. It's actually done. I spent about 30 to 35 minutes on this stage. That was with me stopping and doing things. And I have all my overlays. This is one of the most simple edits for me to do. So the next step I would normally do is add music, but I don't need any music for this video. So I'm just gonna call this one done. So the last thing I do, so I go through, I do my first edit, I do my second round of edits while I'm adding in the overlays and do all of my overlays before I go back in. Third thing I do is add my music and like sound effects. And then the fourth thing I do is I watch it all the way through, make sure it's all good, and then I export it. So I'm most likely gonna save my last step till my little one goes to sleep because I haven't eaten and I still need to eat and clean up and kind of wrap up our night. So I'll probably come back later tonight and do that step, or come back early in the morning. We've had a long, very long day and I'm not 100%. So I probably will come back in the morning. Hey guys, so I don't know what happened, but I lost the footage of me coming back and talking through this video, and I wanted to make sure I actually ended the whole process of the editing. So future me here editing this video realized that something was missing. So the video I was working on is part 3 of the series that I have been working on. So definitely go check that out to see what I was doing to this video. But this video ended up being 16 minutes and 15 seconds long. Exporting is really easy. When I export, let me screen record. Okay, so like I said, this video ended up being 16 minutes and 15 seconds long. So what I do when I export, I like to export and I click on the high efficiency video to save space, and I also export to the folder that says final videos. And that's simply all I do to export it. Now there's a whole other process. When I do the last round watching it through, I take notes, but I take notes for the uploading side of it. So that's a whole other process. But editing overall took me less than the 2-hour mark. Again, this was one of the simpler videos. Vlogs take me a while. So to answer one of the questions about how I manage my time editing, if it's a video like this, like I said, my schedule is like Monday through Friday. I try to edit some each night. But videos like this, I can tend to get done in one setting. If I wait, like now, it's like 11 o'clock at night. If I wait between the 9 and 11 window when my son is sleeping, I can get this one video done. I'm exhausted, but I push through just because I know there's so many more videos I want to work on. Now, if it is a vlog and you're following multiple days, what I do, especially when I was doing Vlogmas like this, I would upload the footage and try to edit the footage from that day. So if I vlogged all day today, I would upload the footage, and I might upload it while I'm like washing dishes or something. Come back, edit that footage, so at least I know the frame around what I wanted with that footage, and then do that for each day. And then when it's time to put it all together, just completely watch it all the way through and do your second and third rounds. But yeah, so that is what I do. Some of the things you did not see in this, and I'm just going through it real quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I didn't do any green screens. I didn't do any like showing my camera. I didn't do any like showing my screen from my laptop in this video. And so I wanted to actually go through and show you those. Okay, so green screen is pretty easy. You just go into Canva and you start with a background color that's green. Just make it really bright green. And then you add what you want on top of that. Then when you export it, you're gonna go in and you're gonna go to the effects and you're gonna click on green screen keyer or keying, and drag and drop it on top. And then it will change it to where there's no background. I do that a lot. All right, so the last question I want to make sure I answer before we wrap this video up is how I share information using my laptop. That was one of the questions. I actually have a video showing this where I showed you the process of using my DJI and using that as a webcam with my laptop. So definitely check that video out, especially if you have a DJI or you know how to work your camera into a webcam, because it's pretty much the same thing. The main thing I do is when I'm recording, I make sure I'm getting the volume from my DJI and I'm getting the volume from my laptop when it's screen recording. And then when I go in to edit that footage, I make sure the volumes match up, and then I just go in and splice where like I don't want the information to show, and I take that out so that my video pops up underneath, and then make sure you turn the volume down for the video that you don't want the volume for, so it's not like echoing. But yeah, that's all I do. I make sure the volumes match up, and I just show parts of the screen that I want to show. It's really simple. You just have to play with it to get it just right. There's also, you can do in Canva, you can do screen recording through there, or you can use Loom. This is just the free way and the easiest way that I did it, and it works pretty well for me. I just click on QuickTime, record my screen, share my information. So that's how I do that. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful. I do want to walk you all through the process start to finish of how I like create the video, edit the video, upload the video, all the things. So if you're interested in a video like that, let me know. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.